Okay, let's start animating our planet. So select the Earth day map. So we'll start with the animation of rotation in y-axis, and we want the rotation to happen like this, clockwise. S- So we'll be adding an expression called time. Let's add an expression to the y-axis. Press Alt, click at the stopwatch icon, and we have the expression dialog box open. So here you can type time multiplied by -8. -8 because we want this to be on the clockwise. So we have added a minus in front of the 8 times. Press 0. Now let's look at the RAM preview and see how this looks. Okay. So the Earth is rotating in its y-axis and it's slower, and we want it to be like this because when we are looking at the Earth from afar, it's very slow, maybe even slow. You might have to go on the planet, you might have to go on space and look at the Earth for that. Okay, so let's start animating the radius of the planet. Here we can add a keyframe at radius. At 0 seconds, move about 6.5 seconds. Let's increase the radius of about, yeah, looks good. Select both the keyframe, press F9. Now let's add a keyframe at the offset. Press U to reveal the keyframes. Okay. Select this keyframe, move it back. And here we will move on the left hand side. Okay. Press F9. So as it rotates, so our planet rotates and is also coming towards us. Okay, looks good. But at this point of time, I don't want this highlight to be there. So we will animate this flare brightness. Now let's animate the flare brightness. Add a keyframe at this point of time. Move about 6.5, and we have the reference for the timing. We'll be using the same timing. At this point of time, we can reduce it to 0. Press F9. So now let's animate the lighting of the Earth. So here it looks perfect. I want the planet to be lit and bright here. But at the beginning, I want to I want it to be dark. So I will animate the diffuse and ambient and light height. Yeah. Press U to see the keyframes. So select these keyframes and move it half about 3 seconds. Move back. So here we'll animate the diffuse, we'll make it darker, and light height will make it like as if there's no sun at this point of time. Ambient will make it 0. Select all the keyframe, press F9. Let's look at the RAM preview. Okay, looks good. Let's animate the glow layer as well. So at this point of time, I want the glow to be brighter. So we'll animate the opacity and the position. Press T to reveal the opacity. And when we are at this point of time, we'll increase the opacity about 80%. And we'll animate the position as well. Press Shift P to reveal the position. Add a keyframe, move this keyframe at the back. Control Shift H to unhide all the layers. bring it closer, or I can reduce opacity a bit. Yes. Select all the keyframe, press F9. Let's look at the RAM preview. Looks good. It's a very slight, subtle movement, and we want this to be like this. Okay, or even more at the back. Yeah. Okay. Let's add our text here on the right hand side, Planet Home. I will select the text tool, and I've selected a font called Helvetica, thin, and I've made it all caps. Let's type Planet Home, and I've added a tracking of about 600. You can see here 600. So we want the text to be revealed when our planet is almost here at this point of time. So select the layer and move it back. Let's add an effect. Let's add animation preset. In animation preset, you can search for preset, text, animating, and we'll use slow fade on. Select the preset and drag it over the layer. Press Q to see the keyframe. Select both the keyframe, press F9. We'll make it slower. Let's trim the work area. Okay, looks good. So now let's start creating our atmosphere. So to create the atmosphere, we'll be using the same earth map, and we'll change the texture inside it. So right click on the layer and reveal layer in source project. So this is the source project. We'll duplicate this layer and rename this as atmosphere. Go inside this and we'll delete these textures. Instead, we'll create a shape layer and we'll change the color of about light blue. Okay, select all, move it up. Now how we can apply it over here? We cannot just drag this here. So what we'll do, we'll duplicate this layer here, the earth, and I will rename this as atmosphere. And I will hide the earth for now. Select this atmosphere at the project panel as well as in the layer. Press Ctrl Alt slash. Press Ctrl Alt slash, and you have this another layer with the shading of the earth. So we'll place it behind the earth, and if it turns out we don't see anything yet, we'll change few settings over here. We are not going to animate anything in this. So I will turn off all the keyframes. Instead, we want the radius to be connected with this earth map so that when it moves the planet as well. I'll show it to you because right now our it's not moving with our planet. So to make it move, we will go to radius of the planet. I'll move this up. Yeah. So we will parent this atmosphere radius to the planet radius of the planet. So you can see a pick whip over here. Click and connect it to the radius of the earth. Now if we move, you can see it's moving like this because you have to connect one more thing called offset. So select the offset, select the big wave and connect it to offset. Now if you see, our texture is also moving with this. Now we'll add a glow on this layer, atmosphere. Search for glow. Okay. Now we have added a glow. Let's change it to alpha channel. Increase the radius. And we'll change this color to a light blue. Or we can increase the radius. So now let's get atmosphere around the edge of this area. So we'll duplicate a layer of this atmosphere, atmosphere 2, move it on the top, remove the glow from this, and in the shading we'll make it 100% brightness, add a fast blur, and we'll change. Now we'll matte this white with our earth map. So select the earth map, go to alpha matte. Yes, now you can see we have our glow on the edges as well. You can control this glow effect by controlling the blur radius. Okay, press U to reveal the keyframes. We have the glow at this point of time. It's looking good. But here we want the glow to be 0. We don't want any glow, very slight. So we'll animate the opacity of these two layers. Press U, press T, add a keyframe in both the layers. Move this present keyframe and move it about 3 seconds. Make it 0. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. We want this to come a little later. And we'll animate the radius as well. Press U. At this point of time, I want the radius to be very smaller. Okay, yeah, this much is fine. Select all the keyframes, move it up, or we can play with this time when you want this to happen, when you want your glow to appear. So at this point of time, I want this to be dark. Slowly, yeah. Now we have our glow and the planet home. So let's look at the RAM preview. We can increase the radius of the planet even more. And offset it so that we don't see any glow at this area. Okay, let's look at the RAM preview. Okay, Looks good. Looks good. So in the next section, we'll start adding our astronaut and the satellite.